HSBN stands for the Holy Spirit Broadcasting Network. Okay, so I had a client who I was meeting with to help her. She wanted to become a writer and speaker. So she hired me to consult with her. So I was meeting with her maybe every other week for a while. And about on our third meeting, she said, there are just some people that I need for you to meet. And I hear that, every now and then. And most of the time that doesn't pan out. So it's like, sure, I'm going to give Reverend Andrew Bills your number. And then she said someone else. And I said, fine, that's fine with me. Well, Reverend Bills ended up, he's Bishop Andrew Bills, and he is the head of HSBN, the president, CEO, founder, all those cool names. Well, before he called me, when she called him to say, I've met somebody who I think you'd be interested in getting to know, he went on my website. And when he went on my website, of course, he saw my books and what have you. Like we were saying earlier, if you want to get started, you have to have an internet presence. All right. So Bishop Bill saw that I had books, that I was a speaker, all of that. So he was now, unbeknownst to me, he was just starting HSBN. I didn't know that. So he called me and introduced himself, said he had this TV network and he would love to have me on as a guest per this lady's, recommendation, and just bring your books along and we'll just talk about you and your books and we'll just have a grand time on my show. Yeah, a new Christian show. Great. That's easy for me to talk about me. Okay, so great. Fine. So I went to, it was a small, place, and I went and the little theater was, set up, studio was set up, and we sat there and it was him and another lady, Jackie Priestley, who were interviewing me, and we basically talked, about my books and why did this book come about, much like we did a little earlier, right? Well, I left there and he said, I'm going to be contacting you. So I said, fine. I don't think he remembers it being the same afternoon. I thought it was the next day, but I know exactly where I was. I was driving home on the 91 freeway and he called and he said, we had such a great time. I really want you to be a part of HSBN. What? And he had a new show in mind, which was going to be much like the talk shows on TV where there's a panel of ladies, but who would talk about Christian issues. And he said, I really want you to be a part of that panel. And if you would do that for me, I want you to have your own show that you call it anything you want, do whatever you want. Wow, this is so cool, right? And so I said, great, that sounded good. Now, the way I approach things, a lot of people would have said, let me pray about it. Okay, I believe we are walking in the favor of God day by day, that as God brings things to pass, we are free to do the things that are in line. Now, there was nothing out of line with sharing the word over the internet. What's out of line about that? What do? I write books. I have messages to get out. I want the world to know about Christ. So it made sense. And I also believe that as you are walking along and you go ahead and make these decisions, that the Holy Spirit lives within you. And you're making these decisions. When it's a decision you're not supposed to make, he'll check you. And then you could go, oh, well, maybe not that. So anyhow, I said, sure. And Bishop Bill says, I want you to start next Thursday. Okay. So Then I started praying. I was like, okay, what exactly are we going to do? So he already had it together as far as what we were going to do with the panel, but he didn't have a name for the show. And he said, well, I want it to kind of be like The View. And I said, well, we can't call it that, because there's already a show called that, although you cannot copyright a title. So it would have just been stupid for us to call something the same name or something else. So I said, how about A View from the Upper Room? Yeah, that'll be it. So we started on that show, and then I thought, wow, if I had a show, what would it be about? Well, we writers are always needing a platform. We're always needing to get out there. So I said, okay, I think I'll do a show that will interview authors or people who are the heads of ministries and things of that nature. So I named it the same name as my ministry, so Life That Matters. And I started out just exclusively interviewing authors. And I just started calling my friends. Like, hey, you have a book, right? You have a ministry, come and be on my show. And so that's how we started. Now my show is a mix of my teaching as well as having interviews. So that's how we started. And then getting back to, like I said, I didn't realize at the time until I really started broadcasting that HSBN was brand new. So I was one of the first regular broadcasters